The Omnic Weekly. Welcome everyone, it is Sunday, April 21st, and this is episode 173 of the Omnic Weekly. I am D, and this week I'm joined by Frozen.
Hello.
That is a big surprise.
Wow.
Exactly. How you doing, Frozen?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I actually just noticed that first off, I didn't put on my light. Look at that, the Overwatch light. There we go, we fixed that. I hadn't had a drink yet, so I'm going to fix that.
We're both doing some
Product placement for Pepsi.
Whoops.
They need to sponsor me. The rate I talk about Pepsi on my streams and in this podcast, well, it's kind of okay, but just on my stream, it's like it's become a recurring topic. By the way, I hate those caps that you can't remove. They never turn on correctly.
So annoying.
They're annoying, and I saw some TikToks of Americans going, "Oh, we want that too." Like, no, you don't. Trust me.
You really don't.
It's like
super annoying.
because people are too stupid and they lose the caps. Now we all have to suffer through kind of. If you want to close a bottle properly, you need at least 3 tries. It's insane. But anyways, today is a joyous day. Well, it's a joyous week. We are in a new season. That kind of how do you call it? Exciting, almost feels like spring thing where you get all the new content and people are kind of rummaging through everything that they put out in Overwatch.
And like looking at everything like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is new.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm looking to say it's Christmas, but no, it's not Christmas. No, it's better.
Kind of feels a bit like Christmas, but as a child, which was better.
Yeah, but the thing is, of course, now, like by the time the season actually launches, we already have such a clear idea of what is going to be in there. It's like you already know what's in your gift. It's still nice. It's still exciting. You're glad to kind of finally be able to use your gift, but it's not the biggest surprise anymore. But that's fine. I think that is the effect of the new style of communication and whatnot, and it's a good thing. But overall, Frozen, what was your, like, let's first maybe say this, like, I think overall season 9 was a season that was well appreciated by the community at large. I think all the balancing changes they did, everything that happened during that season, it sat well with a lot of people. There were, of course, things that did not sit well with people, but that is always the case. I've mentioned this in a few of my videos recently, but I don't think we're ever going to have a season that is going to be fun and exciting for everybody. I think that is impossible. I think it is impossible to make a game or even a season within the game that is going to please the whole of the community. My comments on every piece of content I make clearly show that there's still people that are angry about everything. And some people are rightfully upset about certain details that they don't like, and everybody is entitled to their opinion. But overall, I think season 9 was kind of, I don't know. I felt like it was a good season overall, and people enjoyed it. And it won't leave a nasty taste in their mouth. And of course, at the end, everybody had that kind of the end of the season blues. But apart from that, just fine. Now, season 10 took a good start right now. And I think, to be honest, I think season 10 might not be as game-changing when it comes to the game itself. Although, Venture definitely left a bit of a trace up till now. But I do think just the content of the season itself, when it comes to the skins and whatever is coming in the next week on Tuesday, is going to make a difference. But what has your first impressions been of season 10? Like,
I was very excited for everything. I like the visuals and like everything. I think the skins I talked about with a few friends. But in this season, even if I find a few of the skins a bit odd, like the Ursa skin, I find it a bit odd. I don't dislike it. Like, I usually always have a lot of seasons like, hey, I like this, I don't like this. But so far, I didn't have anything that's been like bad in particular, or that's been like, I don't really like that. I even tried to play the Clash mode, like the we're trying to play the cash mode a bit more, and it's actually pretty fun.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot more people are actually spending time in the arcade because they want to play the Clash mode. The Clash mode is also in quick play, but of course it's kind of a random thing. You'll randomly encounter it. The advantage you have in quick play is that it's roll queue, so it will give you a better kind of feel of what it's going to be when it eventually releases. But I see a lot of people kind of, and us including, like you said, we tried it, but we actually spent a lot of time in the arcade. We actually, both on stream but also off stream yesterday evening, we still played a few matches, just kind of hanging out in that mode and enjoying it. It's kind of weird. I mean, it's a good sign that we spend so much time in this mode because there's only one map. It makes it very repetitive, but still, it feels exciting. It feels I don't know. I'm having fun on that mode.
It's similar maybe to some things we have already experienced, but it's the fast pacedness of it makes it fun because like even if you lose or if there's like a very big power imbalance, you just lose quickly. There's not a lot of time spent in that game that you have to suffer through or something. If you lose, if it's a big power imbalance, you lose quickly, you can move on to the next game. And like even like to see the fight, like to fight about a point, going back and forth and everything. I don't know, it's fun, it's exciting, and I'm just having fun playing it in general. Sometimes there's a bit of issue because it's so fast, so like having issues with grouping up, but then you lose 1 point and then all of your teammates already queued up on the point you have to defend now.
Yeah, I think that is the advantage of having 5 points in total, is that if your group is kind of goofing off on that first point, does not find the right comp to counter the enemy team, if there's like an imbalance, because I do think the imbalances currently often come no matter what some people claim. Some people are still very unhappy with the matchmaking. I think it has improved vastly over the last few months, and to a point where, you'll still have these kind of moments where you're like, what the hell just happened here? These guys just probably just rolled out of comp as a group. And it kind of will depend if you are in a group with 5 people, and there's certain edge cases. But if you're solo queuing, the chances of coming into a game where it really feels unfair are rare. If you feel like it's unfair, it often is because your group is not kind of working together. You're kind of playing as individuals. You're not picking the right heroes. You don't have you're not on the same strategy, which is a risk that you run into more when you solo queue. I think because of the 5 points, you get the chance to kind of switch it over by the time you get to that last point, because that last point also is very difficult to claim, because if you are on the attacking team and you need to pick their last point, which is literally next to their spawn, they walk out of their spawn and they're on point basically. There's like a 10-meter gap. That gives them a lot of time to come back and kind of, it gives them time to really kind of wait for a second till more people are gathered together, have switched over with the grouped respawn. It all helps out, and that last point becomes very difficult to claim. In all the games I played, I think there has been 2 or 3 instances where I actually managed to get that final point. It usually always ends somewhere around B or E. That is the point where it usually ends.
Yeah, sometimes even C.
Yeah,
which
sometimes,
is just dead middle. Like I think 2 times yesterday where we managed to get the last point. But yeah, like even the mode, I don't know what happened yesterday, but it kind of encouraged me to try new characters, which I like on some apps I wouldn't necessarily have tried. Like, of course, I picked Reinhardt yesterday because, like, hey, new skin, I kind of want to show it off. But also, I don't know, the mode made it feel like, hey, maybe I can pick something I don't usually play and not get as punished for it.
Yeah, I think it's partly because it's arcade, of course. You know that.
Maybe.
I think we as a community, the people on my Discord and whatnot that I play with, do take quick play more serious than some people do. Like, some people consider quick play to be extremely casual, which it actually is not, which Blizzard has confirmed that there are different play styles within that quick play community, and for some people, it's basically where they spend most of their time, and even the high level players are spending a lot of time in quick play right now because of all the grouping, the queue issues that are going on the high levels. But we'll get back to that in a second. And for us, then the arcade becomes this place where, we'll try something different. We'll try something crazy. We'll do you can get away a little easier. It's arcade. It literally says arcade on there. So I think that is one of the. I can totally understand that is the place. That is also the place where I tried to venture a few times. Just kind of. I don't know. Like in a quick play match, I often play support or tank, and then when I play DPS, I don't know. I took a chance yesterday with us being in. Finally, I've given myself like a week where I was like, the first week I'm not going to touch Venture at all. Let other people play with them, because everybody wants to play Venture, and then I'll give them a chance after that week. But because we were playing at the arcade mode yesterday, I was like, all right, let's try it a little sooner. I mean,
now's the time.
Now's the time, exactly. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some tweaks that might need to happen. I couldn't tell you exactly what is needed. I think it's just a matter of some kind of timers that need to maybe be adjusted a little bit. I do think in some cases, if you're playing a very kind of, how do you say that? Certain compositions will fare a little better on that map, and maybe suffer, and others will suffer a little harder on that map. And if you're used to playing that one comp, you might feel like it's dragging, or that it's not working for you, or that it is going too fast and that you don't get time to reorganize.
There are a lot of nooks and crannies, and it's very I
Tell me about it.
it's there's not a lot of open field, so I feel like people who like sniper characters or hit scans, like not even hit scans, but more mainly sniper characters are gonna have a harder time on these maps.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I even noticed that with Ana, that I wasn't having as easy time with her as, for example, Kiriko or others.
Yeah,
Because it is like harder to heal them because it's very easy that they just are behind the wall.
there's like you said, a lot of nooks and crannies, but there's also a lot of height difference. There's a lot of verticality to the map, especially on the central point. You basically have two stages. It's kind of like on Samoa, where the capture point itself is sunken in. It's not sunken in, the rest is risen above it. With a lot of pillars, with a lot of fencing, with a lot of objects, kind of. It has that. I kind of compared Samoa, that part of Samoa back in the day, when it released, to a Paladin's map. Like Paladin's maps always have that lot of verticality going on. They always have that kind of. They don't have a lot of clear sides. There's a lot of corners, and they're way tighter than they are in Overwatch. In Overwatch, you have these moments where you can basically. You could roll a bowling ball all the way down, and that never happens in games like Paladins. They keep it way closer because the maps always are kind of a little, I'm not going to say denser, but I guess a little lighter built, and it makes them, I think it is less work to make a map like that than it is than an Overwatch map, for instance. But in this case, yeah, it also has that Paladins feel with all the verticality that is going on. And for Ana, it's like, that center point, there's no way. Everybody's up, down, under. Some people are in the balcony in the back. Yeah, yesterday there was this moment where the three of our teammates were fighting on that balcony, and I was trying to capture the point with that was sticking. And then I don't know who was playing support at that point, but then they were kind of, they needed to kind of keep me up and then keep the other people up that are in the. It was kind of insane, but.
Supporting on those maps is going to be a challenge, but that kind of makes it fun.
Yeah, I think overall that is just it. I think it's basically 5 small little battles that you fight. And yeah, you can mess up one and lose it, and then you lose a point, but then you can kind of, okay, if you play smart, if you play with a group of people that you know, you'll kind of reorganize, you'll start thinking on how you can kind of counter it, and then you do a few switches, you group up, you do a slight strategy change, and the next point will be yours. And sometimes it can take 2 points, and that's what I meant earlier, because you have the 5 points, you have some leeway. That is something we didn't have on 2CP. Now you have some leeway on how you can basically, there's 3 points of time where you can go, all right, how are we going to deal with this? Okay, I need to counter this person because this person is really kind of being a pain in the ass.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it.
It feels like they looked at 2CP and all the problems people had with it and said, "Hey, let's work that over. Let's do something else with it."
Yeah, they basically kind of lifted all the issues out because it is way compacter. Everything is mirrored perfectly, so there's no advantage or disadvantage necessarily, depending on what team you're playing on. But once the game starts moving, there always will be a disadvantage or an advantage. But that is always kind of steered towards, as much as I can see, at least steered towards the people that are in the back foot, so they can come back. I think it's a nice variation of that, and it might actually work. And I've done a poll asking people on how they like it, and overall, like I think the results were quite convincing. I think about let me pull it up. 50% was that it has potential, and I think that I'm also on that. I think it has a lot of potential. It just maybe needs a few tweaks. And then 30% was, yeah, great mode, already convinced. And then there's only like 17%, and that was on Instagram. So I did it on other platforms, and it was similar. There was a small variation in the amount of people that felt it sucked versus the people that enjoyed it without any changes. But yeah, like basically 80% is kind of okay, let's move forward with this. I think that is what they were looking for. That's what they wanted, of course. So I'm curious to see what the adjustments are going to be that they're going to do. By the way, talking about the map, like you said, the nooks and crannies, I'm actually have a video coming out later tonight that looks at a few things that people, because that's exactly the thing. There's so many nooks and crannies that there's a lot of stuff in there that you might have missed. Like there's a lot of reference.
Especially in just playing, like sometimes you don't appreciate the maps enough because there are some damn beautiful maps, and a lot of times when I'm like just in skirmish and I'm looking around, I see stuff I've never seen before just because if you were in the mindset of I have to do this, I have to do this, I'm in the game. No, you don't have time. You don't have time to think about, oh, let's look at that map.
And there's so much noise going on, and kind of, yeah, there's a completely different focus. But there are some really beautiful things on this map. Also very Japanese traditional things that I've researched that I kind of worked into this map. I looked at all the writing on the walls, on the stones. Some of it did not make any sense. Some of it was extremely funny. Like I'll give you one thing. So you have the eel, the unagi shop, where the big yellow eel is. There's like they sell burnt eel apparently, and they also sell sucking eel. I'm like, excuse me, what the hell? What is
not fried eel, burnt eel?
Burnt eel, yeah. But I mean, there is a lot of the text that has like the way you pronounce like Japanese is very. How do you say that? I don't speak Japanese at all. I use the Google. What is it called? Google blah 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 something to translate it. But there's a lot of words that sound similar or written similar, but the way you pronounce it will actually make a difference in what they mean. And sometimes it could be the same word could be. I'm just saying this. I don't know if this is true. I'm just giving an example. Like you would want to say that you're eating rice, but the way you pronounce it, you're saying you're eating a wave. Like, you know what I mean? Like they can be so close that. So that was a little difficult. But there are some really beautiful spots in there, little references to other parts of the map, and actually a reference to a really big map that you can see from there. There's a spot where you can see Hanamura. But go check out the video. It should be out. By the time this podcast is out, it definitely should be on my YouTube channel. So yeah, Clash up till now been a success. It won't happen in the next season. I think they have not given us an exact season in which they think to release this, but my guess is somewhere around the summer. So what is summer? That's going to be season 12, maybe 13.
When they cooked up maybe one or two more maps, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's going to release with 2 maps. I think that is their goal. They said that. Maybe they'll do an extra one. Maybe they'll release it early if they notice that this went so well that they're like, okay, this is working. Let's just release it.
I hope so, because I hope that this mode isn't going to have the issue that with the 5 points too. With the Flashpoint, because Flashpoint is kind of suffering from map fatigue right now. Because like even if you get Flashpoint, which is like like from the percent kind of type. It's like kind of the same as the other game modes. It's just 2 maps, so you feel like you're getting the same maps over and over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And it could really benefit from 1 or 2 more maps.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. I think 2 maps is too little to release a new mode with. I think they need at least 3 to 4 maps. Like Push on release had 3 maps, if I'm not mistaken. So we had the Toronto map, we had Colosseo, and which one am I missing? Ding, 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 ding. Let me, there's another one. I think there were 3 in total. Oh,
yeah.
Wait.
I can't think of the name, but I have it in front of my...
Esperanza, of course.
Esperanza, yeah.
Yeah. And we're getting a 4th map, which is going to be the Peruvian map. That should be coming. Runa Sapi, which is going to be released next season. So that it started out with 3 maps. Although I think Esperanza was added later.
But not too long after.
Yeah.
It was quite quickly. So like we had with the push modes, we had 2 maps at first, I think it released, but they didn't they followed up with Esperanza, I think not soon after.
Yeah.
So like even if you do 2 maps, you shouldn't wait too long, because that's like the issue I have with it. I think Flashpoint is quite fun still, but it kind of gets repetitive with the maps.
It does get very repetitive right now. Like I feel like I'm spending way too much, and sometimes I'll get New Junk City back to back because I did a backfill. I'll do a backfill on New Junk City, and then the next game will be New Junk City again, and then I'm really like, come on, man, do I really need to do this? And because I never leave a game, I do.
It's to the point where if it's like New Junk City, and I first think it's Junk City.
Yeah. Junkertown.
I'm disappointed. Junkertown. I'm disappointed because it's Junkertown.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to say, yeah.
Yeah, I think 2 maps, but yeah, apparently Push also released only with 2 maps. But like you said, Esperanza was released not too much later. I think that is definitely, and with the fact that they did the test now before the actual release, I think they actually got a few days off their time. Like I think people are going to be asking for a new map way sooner than on the other modes, because we already got to play it. Everybody already. I mean, the timer started now. It won't start in season 12 or 13. No, it will start now. People saw it. It's out. People already felt like it's old news. Once if it releases in season 12 and people play it, it will feel like an old map. There's no way around that. Yeah, so that is something that is the cost you pay for the test, of course.
Also, Hanaoka is kind of different than other maps, because it is something like similar to what we know already with Hanamura. And it didn't feel like a new map when I was playing it. It felt like coming home.
It did and it did not. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I still miss, even if I'm playing Hana. Why do I have such a difficult time pronouncing this map? Hanaoka. I feel like I still miss Hanamura, because Hanamura had these. I think it's because I have so many memories on that map of playing on that map, and like specific games with specific people, and kind of. I think that is just it. But it is a very gorgeous map, and I'm happy that they're bringing back that art style and kind of that feel, that Shimada history, because like I said, check out the video when it's as after this podcast, but there's so many small details towards the Shimada family that you might have missed, that you might not have paid attention to. But
it was quite odd that, like, because when that game mode left 2CP, we had so many lore rich and gorgeous maps for that game mode.
Yeah.
Like, and the iconic maps that just got lost to time. It's kind of like with Anubis and Hanamura, Volskaya. It's like those maps, like I just want that style maps again, because it was just amazing. And it's kind of like, I don't know, the familiar, and like those maps were not only gorgeous, but also like the lore that was on that map was like made into cinematics. We saw those maps sometimes, and it's kind of just gone now.
Yeah, exactly. I think Paris was the only map that doesn't really have like a tie-in the sense that The
Not everybody
Widowmaker.
hated Paris.
Yeah, but I love the art style of Paris. I love the
Yeah.
way it looked and whatnot. But like Anubis was far as it wasn't in the dropship, the whole kind of tank thing that was standing there, the whole story with Anubis the Gold program that was so kind of embedded in the Overwatch lore. Paris was just Paris. Like there was no like Widowmaker or Amelie lived on the castle. There was no link to her in that map. Volskaya, Zarya, whatnot, it was embedded in that map so hard with the big robots and with Volskaya Industries. And that went missing a little bit. And now with Hanamura, we have that kind of, with Hanauka, you have the Hanamura thing back. We'll see. Some people hope that they'll do Anubis Part 2 as the second map. I don't know. Some people know because I think it was shown off at the Creator Summit. But we don't know. So I don't know.
No,
Could be cool if it's a new one.
it would be nice if we saw those like maps like Anubis or Volskaya, if we saw those in Clash again. Because it is kind of a similar game mode, and I think you don't really do much of it, and it would excite new players because of course they haven't seen those before, and it kind of brings them like a bit of the Overwatch lore closer. And old players I think would also be very excited to like see those maps again.
Yeah, but I don't know if they need to do it in Clash. They could maybe make it into I don't know, but Anubis is a hybrid is maybe an option. Like if you tie in a little bit of the story. Like
Volskaya would really be a good push map, I think.
Yeah.
Like even make the robot look like a Volskaya robot.
Yeah, definitely. There are other options. It doesn't need to be a Clash map. I mean, Gutenberg is still out there. We had it as a PvE map, but I think that could make the perfect hybrid map. There's a lot of stuff. There was someone, it could also be a push map for some. I don't know. There was a reason why people. There is some gameplay of it being a push map or something like that. I don't know. I mean, there's still so many options with all of these maps, and I think that would kind of be cool to see more of these old maps come back, but also see maps like Gutenberg that are kind of left in the remnants of what is PvE, and then some new stuff like the Runa Sapi map is going to be very interesting. The Peruvian map, set in that whole lore for Iari, so I'm looking forward to seeing more of that.
The first new smidge of like Iari lore in the world that we can see, because of course we saw comics and we saw pictures and we know about Iari, but like actually seeing it's gonna be different.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm still curious why they teased Anubis at the end of the Venture trailer. We have not gotten an answer on that yet. It doesn't look like we're getting that answer this season. Actually, I think it might be.
Even in the Hero trailer they released for Venture, that like little like comic, that little animation, which was gorgeous by the way. Like everything had to do with Venture and Anubis.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with Venture we're gonna have a little peek.
Yeah. I don't know why they ended up on that part. Why they ended up with Anubis and kind of we'll see. Maybe that was a teaser for something in the future. Because the big event that is tied into let's maybe talk about Venture first a little bit. Have you played them a lot?
I played them a good amount of times, I think. Sometimes I just couldn't make them work because I haven't played with them too much, so I had to switch to another DPS. But they are really fun, and it's a playstyle I'd like to learn and acquire, if that makes sense. It's a playstyle I haven't really figured out yet, but I think people who have played movement heroes before are gonna just crush on Venture.
Oh, they do already. Like, I think former Doomfist DPS players are just kicking ass on Venture. They are really kind of the new Doomfist. And I do feel like at the start, in those first few days, I felt everything was kind of balanced. But now that we're a few days in, now that we're... After the playtest, I felt felt pretty okay. Now we're a week in the release almost. And I'm starting to notice that some players are getting really strong at them. And then I'm kind of, okay, do they need to get nerfed or not? And I'm starting to feel like I think they're pretty close, but I think there might be somewhere in the mid-season patch there might be some slight nerfs. I feel like the power is slowly rising as people get better at them, and then yeah, it's getting to a point where I feel it's going to tilt. It's going to kind of flip over. We're getting close to that point.
In that regard, I think their abilities are quite fine. Because if you're good with them, you're gonna be able to kill people with that, but it's also counterable. Maybe it's the honor play talking out of me, but that's quite counterable. Like, the only thing I have quite issues with is their ult, I think. Because that shit's strong.
Yeah, it does require. I do think it's strong, but in a way, we are not fast enough, or we have not learned how to avoid it as well. So if you have a venture player that is been putting in a lot of time on that hero, because that is of course the thing. The people that master a hero are always going to be faster than the people that need to counter the hero, because you don't run into venture the whole time, but you can be putting in a lot of time in venture. Like every single game you play, you'll be playing venture. Not every single game that we play, we're countering a venture. And even in a game where another venture is present, we will not always be facing them. We'll be sometimes, we won't even notice them, or at least they will not be, we will not kind of run into them directly, or we'll be, just in the spawn room, just as they all. So I think for us, players that play against venture, it's going to take a little longer to start. Like by Diva, we had the same thing back in the day when Overwatch 1 released. Like those first few months, even half a year, there were so many people that died to her ultimate, because people were kind of ready to get away. And as soon as people started noticing, like, what could be a trigger, what could be, like, I can see, if I see Reinhardt approaching me, I know what they're planning to do, because I play Reinhardt so much myself that I can recognize the signs that they're about to use their ultimate. They do that little thing like the cats do, where they're about to pound you. They're doing that little thing with their ass, and then like, oh shit, he's going to. I always say it on stream too. Like I always, when we're playing a game, I always yell out, yeah, Ryan is going to ult, and literally 4 seconds later, bam, there he goes. And
same with Reaper. You kind of know when Reaper is going to ult.
Especially Gold Reapers, they are so bad at hiding it. It's kind of insane. Yeah, a good Reaper will be coming from behind you, will be coming from above you, but a Gold Reaper will come walking straight into your group, where you think, like, is he eloping or is he ulting? It's one of the two. Yeah.
And I mean, with Venture, it's kind of like playing the floor is lava. Like, you just don't want to touch the ground because that's gonna kill you.
Yeah, you just need to know when they're about to, and we don't see the signs just yet. We don't recognize the signs, and we also are not quick enough to understand. If you don't understand how the ult ultimate actually works, it's really hard to get away from it. I think that is going to get better over time. But I do feel like if they have their perfect combo, they're getting really to that level where Doomfist was. That if they execute perfect combos one after the other, that they'll kind of just obliterate you. The problem is that I am full, or how do I say this? I think we should have heroes like that. I think we should have Doomfists and Genjis and heroes that where people, if they master the hero, they can make a significant difference. Like Echo is one of those heroes too, in a way. If you master that hero, you can make a significant difference for your group. But you should really be on top of it. You should be mastering it. And I feel like I'm kind of afraid that if we're a week in and I already see some people really kind of doing really, really good, that we might just be on the, and I'm not going to say far off, but I think we might be slightly too much on the end where it is too easy to pop off on Venture. I think it needs to be a little more difficult. It just needs to be a tad little more difficult. Not much, just a thing. I think it's a minute detail. It's going to be a few numbers that they squeeze just a tiny bit, and it's going to be perfect. And then you have this hero that if you're really good at them, you're just going to, it's going to be a pleasure to see you do your thing. And if you're not that good at them, you'll want to learn to get better, and you'll just kind of fall in line with all the others. You'll just kind of be a DPS. But there's too many instances now where the Ventures have like double the amount of kills of anybody else in the team because, yeah, they're just kind of rolling everybody.
It's kind of the Genji syndrome.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, I do think there's space for heroes that require coordination, that require dedication. Not every hero should be as easy. I think that is a good
That's
thing.
important because that just means that lower level and higher level players or like are gonna be able to enjoy certain characters because otherwise they're just gonna be bored.
Exactly. So Venture, I do think the one thing with Venture is that their skins are kind of very limited this time around. There's like 4 recolors. That's it. There is a shop skin coming with the ice cream theme that we've seen on May and on Orisa.
Because Yari released with 2 legendaries, didn't she?
I don't remember.
Sunbreak and Sundown.
Yeah.
And then she got another skin, which was a llama skin, which was a shop skin in that same season. So she released with 3 skins.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what happened. I hope. I mean, there's a lot of awesome stuff that you can do with Adventure, and I think if you don't get like a mole type of skin for them, it's going to be.
I saw a meme. I saw the digger from The Incredibles with like Venture's face slapped on top of him, and I just want like that type of skin. It would be amazing. Just like from some kind of wouldn't even have to like be that pop culture, but like it was similar to it. It would be so fun.
Yeah. That would indeed be fun. We'll see what they come up with. I mean, it's a fun character. Just like the interactions, the voice lines.
The tastes like dirt.
And just everything that they say, like when they pop up, surprise. At first, they always said that they said bye. Like you know that meme with that little kid that leaves her dad's car, and it has a little suitcase with her, and she's very enthusiastic in the way that she says goodbye, like really happy to be leaving and whatnot. And kind of this, I saw some adults redoing that, which was kind of weird. But anyways, what was that in one voice line?
It's like fully like just fleshed out goofiness of them.
Yeah, but this is one. The sucks something is like that stinks.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah. Just the way that they say these things are just kind of holy hell.
The disappointment in their voice, like you can feel the disappointment.
Yeah.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just like the whole. How do you say that? The whole personality behind it is kind of awesome. While we're talking about that, I can already maybe share the news that we'll be talking to the voice actor for Venture soon on the podcast. We have a set date, and it's going to be May 12th. We have an interview set up, so
Gonna be exciting.
Yeah. It actually kind of a funny story behind the way it actually got set up, but you know, it was just like in the how do you say that they popped up in my stream. I missed their message completely. I felt like a douchebag afterwards because you know, even like when people are, I even have that with completely random people. Like I'm not kind of making any. This is not a class system, but that when someone just as end my stream says something or asks me something and I close down, I feel like a dick because I didn't answer the question. I'm very much about interaction on my stream. And then I ended my stream. I did a giveaway, and I wasn't paying attention to my YouTube stream, my TikTok stream anymore. I was kind of focused on Twitch because I was doing that giveaway, and apparently Valeria was in my YouTube stream talking to me, but I didn't notice. And I closed down my stream, said goodbye to everybody. Didn't really read the last messages because for some reason, I mean, I had streamed for 4 hours. I had just done the giveaway. There was like a whole shit going on. I didn't scan my chat. I closed down, and then I always shut down YouTube first and then my Twitch chat. And people in my Twitch chat started yelling at me just as I clicked the end stream, like, yeah, the voice actor for Ventures in your chat. I was like, just as I clicked end, I read that. I was like, what? And I go check in. Yeah, indeed. So then I sent a tweet to Valeria, and I apologized. We We chatted, and then I asked him to come on the podcast, and there we go.
I mean, I don't blame you for like having 3 chats in like towards the end of like giveaway and like a lot of things going on that you miss a few messages.
The way I'm streaming is like constantly watching those 3 screens and making sure I need to find the proper tool. There's like one tool that tries to combine them, but it's very buggy. I need to find a tool, if anybody knows about it, where I can combine my TikTok, my YouTube, and my Twitch chat in one, have it in one screen, because I feel like sometimes I'll be like 6 minutes late on answering a question that someone asked me on TikTok, because on TikTok there's not a lot of activity. There's not like a lot of chatter going on. People are just watching. Like they don't necessarily interact as much. But then if they interact, I need to be on top of that. And on Twitch, there's always chatter going on. So that is a continuous stream. And on YouTube, it has its moments. So I need to kind of make sure that I find a way to centralize that. But yeah, okay, that happened. But anyways, Valeria will be joining us in a few weeks on the podcast. And we still have a few other guests set up. So I need to start planning. I need to start planning. All right, but let's move on to the part that is coming next week. So we're currently doing that test event for Clash that is still going to run another week, I think. If I'm not mistaken, that was a 2-week thing. And there's going to be an overlap with Mirrorwatch, which is going to start next week. Mirrorwatch, I did a whole prediction video on what I think is going to be involved. But the one thing I'm really kind of curious about, and I hope we'll get to see, I mean, in case you did not know, it's going to be a 5 versus 5 mode, most likely, set on a Talon version of Gibraltar. We'll be fighting with these mirrored heroes, so we'll have an Overwatch Doomfist versus a Talon Mercy and all that. I do think there's going to be a mix of a team like there is in a normal game. I don't think they're going to separate the teams like you can only play Overwatch heroes or you can only play Talon heroes. I don't think that is going to be the case, especially because there are way more bad guys in this roster than there are good guys. There's an imbalance, very big imbalance actually. So I think it's going to be open. You can pick any hero. They're just going to have a few extra abilities or one extra ability or a changed ability. And we kind of know, but like the Doomfist shield, we know about that. We know that Reinhardt has some kind of amplification field. We figured that one out. Mercy is still kind of open. I mean, I did a whole video on what I think all of these heroes might get. But the one thing I'm most curious about, of course, is the lore behind all of this. Because, it would be very atypical for Blizzard to just take these heroes, switch some skins, switch some abilities and go, there you go, we did it. I do think they had a story in mind. Now, with everything that happened with Blizzard at the last few months and whatnot, with the people getting fired, and I don't know how much we can expect, but I hope that we at least get a comic or something explaining what actually kind of where the timeline separated and how it all kind of unfolded after that, because it looks very interesting. I mean, I can find a way to connect Doomfist to becoming the strike commander for Overwatch. I can see a scenario, apparently that scenario involves Ana, where Reinhardt ends up in Talon, and apparently it's Ana that controls him in a way. How did Ana get in Talon? How did Mercy get in Talon? Why is Ramatra? There's this one video that has been going around on social media that I incorporated in my video from a Twitter account called Overwatch 2 Voice Lines. They captured this moment. If you equip the Captain Lacroix skin, so that's the Overwatch Widowmaker skin, if you equip that one and you shoot Tracer, she says something in the vein of Ramatra wanted peace, you animal, or something like that. Which
kind of leaned onto the voice line when Tracer kills Widow, with like her complaining that she killed Mandata. So kind of brings it near that Tracer killed Ramatra, and that he was like the advocate for peace.
Yeah, he was the advocate for peace, not Mandata. My theory is that Mandata is no longer alive, and that it is actually much like Zenyatta kind of took over for Mandata. This time around, it was Ramatra that took over for Mandata. But then ended up getting killed himself So basically, they're 2 for 1, where our universe is just out one of the 3. So yeah, those are all interesting storylines that I'm very curious to learn more about. Like, there's a reason I think that we don't have a Soldier or a Reaper skin. I think both of them, both Reyes and Morrison, are dead. They did not survive that explosion at the headquarters, plain and simple. And I think the pivotal moment might have been, I don't know, like, what is the moment where the 2 timelines separated, like where things kind of fell apart? And I think the feud between Reyes and Morrison is going to be, I think that is going to be the thing. I think that is where the timeline separated. I don't know if it's that late. I think it happened way before they died. I think more things happened, but I do think that is where things went differently than it did in the canon lore. So, but all guesstimates. This is kind of, yeah. We just have the skins. That's all we have.
It's gotta be super interesting.
Yeah.
I just hope we get some clarification on some things, because like this entire Mirrorwatch thing is like, yeah, I can say, oh, they mirrored everything, but like actually thinking about what canon events must have changed for them to end up on like the completely different spectrum is so interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if they do this justice, if they do it the way it's supposed to be happening, this is going to be one of the most interesting and fun events that they ever have done. I mean, bar to none. I mean, it is something that people will be asking more for. Like, they will want to see more. Like the whole Star Watch event was a bit of a taster for something like this, I guess. This is just, yeah, this is so interesting. This is going to be the universe where other people... They said at some point that they want to do more with the Star Watch universe. But I do think people... And I think some people were excited about that and wanted to see more. And I think it would be interesting. But I think this is one that people are going to ask for. People want to ask, like, can you elaborate? Can you continue? Can we see more of this? Please.
Even right now already, when we haven't seen like everything happening still, and so like it's coming next week, but even then it's like, oh my god, I hope they do a second version of this. Oh my god, I hope they do like a Mirrorwatch 2.0, and like people just wanting to see more and more skins, more lore, more everything. It's like people are still thirsty for that.
Yeah, it is an intriguing thing, like an intriguing trope, like just kind of flipping things upside down. And what if things had run differently? That's why What If worked so well for Marvel too. Look, I'm reserved, like I said. I don't know if what they'll manage to kind of get done. Yeah, a lot has happened over the last few weeks and months at Blizzard. I don't know. We'll see. Let's review it next week. By the next episode of the podcast, we should know a lot more of what is going to happen, what had happened, what actually is the content of this event, and if it's just going to be that game mode with, you know, some fictitious story that we need to kind of improvise ourselves, or that, yeah, there's going to be a nice slab of lore incorporated with a book, a short story, a comic, maybe even an animated short, but I don't think that is happening.
Hyper-analyzing the abilities is definitely gonna happen, though.
Oh yeah, I have a video planned to do just that. I love stuff like that. Just already kind of trying to predict what the abilities were going to be, and especially like the whole lore section of my video, kind of trying to, you know, you just have all these puzzle pieces and you try to stick them together into a way that it makes sense and that it clicks. I find that super interesting. That's what I love about the lore, is kind of, because the canon lore is kind of the same thing. We know a lot, but there's a lot of stuff we do not know. And that's why I love making the lore videos. It's just, if they would, like, the lore videos are not always the most popular videos, so I try to speckle them in once in a while, just for my own pleasure and for the people that enjoy the lore. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how this is going to pan out, and what else we can expect later in the season. We know that there's a few other things coming, but yeah, I think all the focus right now is on Mirrorwatch. There's a few interesting shop skins that still need to be released. Like, what is your favorite skin up till now? I know the answer actually, but
Anna.
Yeah.
Definitely the Anna skin. Yeah, I love it.
I've seen a lot of love for that skin. For me personally, it's I don't know what it is. Like I said before, my dad used to be a cop. Maybe I've seen too many people in uniform throughout my life, and it doesn't work for me. But yeah, I can understand why people like it. I'm not even like I like the Reinhardt skin, and of course I have it equipped, but it's not my definitely not my favorite Reinhardt skin. Like the one I think I find the most beautiful is the Scorpion Baptiste skin. I think that is a gorgeous looking skin. And then you have the Fallout-esque Orisa, which is very interesting. The Echo I'm a little less excited for, but it's not bad.
I think one skin that's just not talked about like enough is the Symmetra skin.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that one turned out, because it's amazing.
It's a beautiful skin.
Good.
Yeah.
It's like fits perfectly to Symmetra, but also into the Junker universe. Like they just bridged the gap so well with her.
Her gun looks amazing. I played Symmetra yesterday just so I could equip the skin and look at it properly, and the gun looks amazing.
And kind of like I checked like with like them giving her a prosthetic leg in the Junker skin. That was a choice.
But she always had a prosthetic leg, didn't she?
I don't know. In some skins she doesn't, but I don't know if she always has one.
She is missing a leg.
I did not pay attention.
Oh, an arm. She's missing an arm. Sorry. That's it.
Yeah, but like in the Junker one, she's also missing a leg.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm mistaken. Actually, I'm thinking about her. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. Wait, let me see. Let me quickly check. No. Mm. She, like in all the concept art, she has legs, but it's her arm that is replaced with a...
Yeah, so they switched that up with the Junker skin, like with her leg being gone.
Does she have an arm?
I don't know, but maybe it's not to like having something to do with Junkrat, or like in place of Junkrat, with like her leg being gone.
Oh yeah. No, she's missing both an arm and a leg on the Junker Symmetra. Yeah. Yeah. And I think I kind of glanced over that because I know she was missing some limb. I didn't know exactly which one it was. That is, of course, the thing with Overwatch. I do think I've said this many times before, but the big boss in Overwatch, the big villain, is not Anubis or anybody else. It's a huge arm and leg eating monster. There is on this roster, there's so many heroes that are missing an arm or a leg. It's kind of insane.
It kind of makes sense for them, like having fought wars and so many fights that there are just a lot of limbs flying around.
Look, if you go to a war-torn country and you'll probably find a lot of people. But I mean,
I love the ways they make it, like the futuristic, like prosthetics and how things are made. Like, for example, like it's Anna's choice to remain half blind because of things that happened. She could choose to get like a prosthetic eye where she can fully see out of, or even enhance her vision, but she chooses not to, which is like, that point is so interesting, like the possibilities they got for prosthetics and people who like lost something.
Yeah, the prosthetics, they work. I mean, that is a beautiful future, right? That I think we're going to get there ourselves in our reality pretty soon too, where the prosthetics just become they fully replace the normal biological arms and legs. There's no difference in feel, no difference in just in maintenance, I guess. By the way, do you know why Anna doesn't want her eye to be repaired? Do you know why?
Yeah, I know.
It's because she saw Torbjorn in his speedos. That's it.
Yeah, I like that vision just fright the eye.
Which like every time she talks about Fiji, that is kind of she loves Fiji, she loves going there, but that was also the first time she saw Torbjorn in the speedo, and since he's always on the same side of her, she just decided not to bring the eye back and to never be bothered by that again. So
she just couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle the Torb.
It looks like a hairy piece of buns that.
It looks like a kiwi with a speedo on.
Yeah, exactly. It's really scary. It's scary, to be honest. That Junker, and of course we talked about it last week. The Widowmaker skin it's the first skin that I actually kind of think is that I actually am interested in. Well, I'll have it at the end of the season, clearly, because it's the Battle Pass reward. I do have to say there were so many people that are so confused about why is the mythic not in the battle pass? How do I get the mythic skin? Like, I think we talked about this both on I in my videos, but we also talked about it on Instagram and Twitter, on the podcast, everywhere, on how it's going to work. It's kind of crazy.
Everyone talked about this. Like, it wasn't a secret how things were gonna work and that there was gonna be a mythic shop, but people like actually started complaining, oh no, we don't even have the mythic in the battle pass anymore, and I just wanted to go through the screen and strangle them.
Yeah, it's like now you have to buy the mythic skin and it's going to cost you $60, $70. It's outrage. Like, no, you're getting one with the 10. That is still happening. You're getting free currency. It's if you want one extra that you have to pay for it. That has also been a debate. Like, as I predicted, the prisms are very expensive. So, and buying a whole mythic skin that you don't own yet. So if you want to get the Mercy skin with your battle pass, but you still want to get the first one because you never got it, it's going to set you back $70 if you really want to buy it from scratch. And that is expensive. But as I said in a recent video, I totally agree with that. It needs to be that expensive. They can't trivialize the value or kind of just make it. It's the same reason why if you want to skip the battle pass, why that is so expensive. If you want to skip the whole battle pass and go to level 80 day one, it's going to cost you $160. You can do it. It's there. You can buy it, but it's going to cost you.
To initially receive the first tier of the mythic skins, you need to pay like 50 prisms and then like 10 for the customizations. So like if you finish 2 battle passes, you can buy 3 base mythic skins. You can have 3 characters with like the base.
No need to get aggressive. Why are you hitting your microphone?
I don't know, my poor thing.
Yeah, you just slapped it on the ass.
my poor
thing.
My poor mic. Yeah. Well, like you can acquire 3 basic mythic skins, which is I think already a lot.
Wait, you say that again? I was so distressed because I was feeling bad for your microphone.
No, but like if you finish 2 battle passes, like because one base level mythic skin costs 50 prisms.
Yeah.
Like you also have like 30 prisms over. So if you play 2 seasons, you can acquire like 3 mythic skins, like the base level without customizations, but still.
Yeah, that's for $20. For $20, you get 3 mythic skins, the base without the customizations. But you can like instead of getting 3, you could get one season and then kind of invest in the 3rd season. You invest in some customizations and you're kind of there. You kind of I think if you buy 2, wait, let me do quick math here. You get 80 per season. You need 80. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like you're left over with 60.
I'm trying to do math. I'm just dividing by 2 and multiplying by 2. Good mathy. No, but the thing is, of course, that at that point you need to make a choice about like how far I'm going to go in the next one, and that is just it. We can't expect to get everything. Like at some point there needs to be. I think we need to realize like we started with Overwatch 2 at a point that was completely not what we expected it to be. There were a lot of problems. It was unfair. There were a shitload of things that needed to change to the game to get it to a point where it would be acceptable. And I think, if I'm being perfectly honest, I think we passed that point where if they had released the game the way it is now, or let's say the way it was like at the start of Season 9, I think we would have been pretty happy with the release. And I think we're now going into territory where we're getting extra benefits and that they're learning from everything that they have done in the last year with the whole competitive rework, with all the changes that, like, there are so many small details, small changes. Like, there's one button that they added where you can conveniently requeue, all these, like, small things that they keep adding over and over again. I think we're getting into territory where, sure, we can still discuss, like, cosmetic prices are too high and whatnot. But other than that, I feel we're getting into territory where we just need to appreciate what we get and be polite in the things that we ask and see what changes we can get. But I see some people pushing so hard when I'm starting to think, yeah, you're not being realistic anymore. You can't expect to get a mythic skin for free. Because one, what is the value of it? Why would you still even play? What is your progression going to be? That doesn't make any sense. And 2, there's going to be a whole lot of people that are going to be pissed off that everything that they worked for so hard is being given away for free. So you need to keep a balance, and it's not all about them wanting to make money. Some of it is them protecting their game, basically protecting the progression in their game, protecting the systems in their game.
Making it worthwhile to play the game because you get stuff out of it by playing and
Yeah.
engaging.
We're getting into toddler territory. I said it in one of my videos. We as a group are really behaving sometimes. And I'm including everybody. We as a group, as a whole, not anybody specifically, some people specifically, but on a whole, we are behaving like a toddler. We're getting to that point where we might get a little smack on the bottom. And you know what I mean? Like we're getting a little too raucous or rambunctious, a little too greedy. I think the game is in a good spot. I don't know. I feel like I'm having fun on a daily basis playing the game. Like I said, there's still stuff that you can discuss, but
even if you think about it, that it gets people to play it daily is crazy. To like set aside some chunk of time every day to play your game, like that's an accomplishment. And like having a game to be that good.
Yeah. And that game is slowly nearing its 8th anniversary, which is insane by itself. This game is getting 8 years old in a few weeks. There's and look, there's a few games that can do it. Blizzard has another game that did it, like World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is back to its kind of like the last expansion. Dragonflight did pretty well, was very well received. The numbers have been going up, and now the next one is meeting a lot of... I saw a lot of content creators that went to some place to play the alpha and got to play the alpha and whatnot. And you can already tell that there's a lot of hype around that. But that game has been running. I actually got I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft. That has definitely not been the case in the last few years. But I kept collecting the collector's editions because I have all of them. I mean, they are quite valuable, but also, I mean, I'm at a point where I have all of them, starting with vanilla till the last one. I just need to push through. I need to keep doing this. And they released a 20-year anniversary edition for pre-ordered last week. And it was a smacking $200, man. Jesus Christ.
That point, if you have from one game, like maybe you don't play it anymore. That's like that's collector. That's like you do it as a collector. So
yeah, but the fact that game 20 years in can still sell collector's editions that are $200, that actually people are quite happy with the game right now. They have gone through hell. They have gone through those same issues that Overwatch went through. They have the same kind of pushback. People were not happy with the game. People were abandoning the game for Final Fantasy in droves. There was a lot going on, but they're coming back, and I think Overwatch is doing that same thing. They're slowly working their way back up. Are they ever going to be the number one game again like they were back in 2016? I don't know. To be honest, I don't care. I just want to have fun with the game. And if you look at the state that Adventure was released, they just fit in the roster perfectly. It just...
They do.
If you look at this new mode and this new map, and I don't know. I mean... I get so many angry people in all of my comments all over the place every single day that, you know, up till recently, I could really understand how people got so upset. And I still can. I mean, I think everybody is completely entitled to their rage and their anger and being frustrated. But I'm getting to the point where I think, like, guys, let's just take a breather, step back for a second, and look at the game on a whole. It's actually looking good. I don't think there's much reason for us to get too angry, unless there's some specific things that really bother you. And there have been a few in Season 10 too, like some bugs and whatnot. Like, oh yeah, we didn't talk about that yet. But yeah, they did the whole white group thing. That white group thing has resulted for the top tier players that their queues have become unbearable. I saw people getting queues of 2 hours because they grouped as a duo.
They warned them. It's not like they did it without notice. They said, "Hey, it's fine if you want this, but it's gonna cause queues to get longer significantly because the changes before were made to keep queue times as short as possible. And I mean, if you want certain things, you have to pay a price.
Yeah. I mean, Blizzard does recognize that there are some issues, especially on the top tiers with that, and that they need to find a solution. It's not like they just go like, yeah, we warned you. I think they're more in the mindset of, okay, how can we fix this? I've seen a lot of talk, a lot of discussion going on between those top tier players and Blizzard, like Gavin Winter and whatnot, to kind of figure out how they can fix it. And it's going to take time. It's not going to be something that they fix overnight. It's not going to be something they fix by next weekend. Maybe some things will be fixed by next weekend. The thing is, of course, like you have high level players and you have high level players that are content creators, and high level players, they will not, if they need to queue solo, they'll queue solo, because what their first objective is to get as high as possible in their rank and to become as good a player as they can be. But then you have the high level players that are content creators, and they get way more value out of doing with other content creators, because that gives them a synergy with the other community, and it helps them to kind of grow their content and makes them more interesting for people to watch. If they're watching Flats playing by himself, they're watching Flats. If they're watching Flats play with Emong and with some of the others, they're watching the group. They're watching the group dynamic. They're watching something different, and they watch all these figures that they know and that they've seen on YouTube, kind of collaborating and playing a game together. So that makes that content a little more interesting. But if the payoff is that you have to wait 2 hours for a game, well, they're playing a lot of word on stream games and whatnot, without any actual gameplay. So I've seen a lot of them just kind of queue up for quick play, as long as this is not fixed, because for them it's more important to be playing with the other content creators and kind of offer an interesting experience. But then they have to answer like the question, why are you not playing comp a million times? So,
And then you see screenshots of like 2-hour queues. I'm like, yep.
yeah.
Why are they not playing comp? I wonder.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's an effect of allowing players to kind of, I'm going to be honest, at some point, if they can't fix it, they might roll it back. They might go, yeah, guys, sorry, but this is not working. And I know it would be kind of because of that high level group can't play, that they're rolling it back for everybody. Or maybe they'll shut it down for I don't know. I don't know what the solution is going to be. We'll see. But that is, and there have been a few things going on in season 10 in that line, like systems wise, things that need some tuning and that need some fixing. But that is, of course, the thing. If you move house, there are some things that are going to get broken. Like if you start kind of budging and you start kind of working on your systems and you start to evolve them, there are going to be things that break. If you don't touch them, nothing will break, but then it gets boring. So this is a process of, moving forward, fine-tuning, adjusting, maybe moving back occasionally. But they'll get there in the end. It's going to be fine. All right. I think we blabbed enough for today.
Enough talking.
Exactly. What is this, a podcast? Jesus Christ.
No,
all this talking. In any case, I think we covered a lot. I think next week's episode is also going to be interesting with, we're kind of looking back at what we're actually going. Next week, the next episode, we're going to be so much wiser on Mirrorwatch.
Yeah, we're actually gonna know what we're talking about then.
Exactly.
That never happens on this podcast.
No. Clearly. But yeah, for now, it's just all a guesstimate. Go check out the videos. Anyways, that was it. First off, I want to thank our patrons. As I always say, you guys are legends. You too can join the Omnic Post family over on patreon.com/the Omnic Post. The new stickers are being printed as I speak. They should be out tomorrow. I'm going to go to the postal office, send them off to everybody. So they'll be on their way. And they're actually pretty good. I'm quite happy with the new stickers. Look at that. Frozen just put herself in the dark to show you guys the stickers if you're watching on YouTube. But the new sticker, I'm really happy, like especially the Fallout one. Really happy with that. Okay, but there's also going to be maybe some pins included. I'll see what I can.
My pin broke.
Which one?
My DMZ's pin broke.
Oh, it did? What did you do to it?
I had it clipped on my bag that I take with me to work every week. And apparently I heard like a little ding and then it just broke.
What the hell? That's the first time I hear one of those breaking.
Yeah, the little pin broke off at the bag.
Okay, I'll send you a new one. It's fine. You can follow the Omnic Post on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and on Instagram for all your updates on Overwatch. And subscribe to the podcast on whatever channel or platform that you're listening or watching this episode. Check out Frozen over on...
Frozen Unicorn, but the first O is a 0.
What is that? Well, she's doing the little sideways peace sign, or the scissors sign, or the V for whatever.
I need to do something with my hands.
Peace out! And you can find me as Damesy's TV on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Oh yeah, and check out Geek and Plunder, my other channel. I uploaded a very funny, cute video with Eilik, my new best friend.
It's adorable. It's so cute.
Yeah, I've been having fun making content for that channel. I have some new concepts coming in the next few weeks. So yeah, if you're into geeky stuff, if you're into geeky movies, if you're into geeky toys and whatnot, go check out Geek and Plunder, my other channel. I started it again recently, and yeah, there's a weekly videos now. All right, but that was it. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. I'm just yelling for reasons I know now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.